I'm Amir G. I'm the Senior Vice President for Minor Hotels, overlooking the Middle East and Africa region. We're here at FHS today. Another great event, another great year.
You're on stage today. Can you just give us a snapshot of what you were talking about?
Just got off the stage 5 minutes ago. Probably the hottest topic of, probably I would say, of the decade, which is people, talent, and the workforce of the future. So we deep dived into the new generation. We're moving slowly into Gen Alpha now, from Gen Z to Alpha. How are we going to attract a new workforce? Hospitality is seeing a major shortage in the industry, and together with Summa Education, who's on stage with me, we really looked at how can we attract new talent? How can we make sure purpose becomes the main driving force of attracting the future? So a lot of elements, I think a lot of key factors that needs to change, both for leadership, hospitality company, the culture of the company. And I think hospitality has proven to be one of the least innovative industries in the world. And I think there's a lot of learning that we can take effect, in particular from the new gen.
Can you give some examples of, first of all, how it's been the least innovative and how it can actually be more so?
I think, by default, when people look at hospitality, it's a high-touch business, and it will continue being a high-touch business. So it's a very, labor-intensive, it's very engaging, and it's a 365 business. So it's a business that doesn't sleep. And a lot of people in today's world, in particular the new workforce, they're looking for purpose, they're looking for alternative things to do. They don't want to just be stuck in a job for the next 30 years, working day in, day out. They want to be involved in many different things. They want to be entrepreneurs. And I think hospitality has by default been an industry that really sucks you in, long hours, long thing, and it's a very unappreciative industry. But I think now with the inclusion of AI, looking at how we can create more empowerment and give them the space to be themselves, we slowly have to adopt that. And I think what AI has done is not take away the touch points, because that won't change. But what it's done is given us the opportunity to maximize efficiencies in the back so that it frees up time for people to spend more time in the front. And it's a very, it's a passion-driven business. And I think by default, by creating that purpose and setting people up to understand that they can be more than just a robot doing a job, but they can actually be themselves, explore themselves, create experiences, then you can hopefully start attracting the new talents. And so there's a lot of, I would say, it's a lot of smaller steps towards a much greater gain.
And how do you find, we're in Saudi now, how do you find Saudi ranks on, first of all, talent retention and also hospitality?
I think, hospitality is obviously very new in this nation, but it's a major focus. As they're pushing towards reaching the 10% GDP goal, this is obviously a major push. And what they need to do, and I think that's one of the greatest privilege of hospitality, is what it does, and I think that's the piece that most people forget. We create economies and we create ecosystems. So as we develop new areas, I think hospitality, first of all, is ingrained in the culture. They have it in their home, they have it in their culture, they have it with family, they have it with friends. How can we extract that, retain it, and bring it into a commercial establishment and make sure the world gets to witness that? So that's the first thing. I would want to retain that and make sure the Saudi hospitality remains intact. Second part, you have such beautiful destinations with flora, fauna, from Hale to Yambu, to Khobar to Red Sea. You have it all. And I think for us, the ecosystem of hospitality, the beauty of it is that you can come in, you can create a circular economy through hospitality offerings and attract the talents through that and make sure that you upskill and skill them up to hopefully build a career in this industry. And I think with that hospitality, Saudi, out of the entire GCC, probably has the biggest level of opportunity because it has the nature, it has the population, and it has the location being at the crossroads of the world.
That's very interesting. And someone also made a point earlier that one of the issues is that governments around the world don't really see the long-term benefits, maybe due to short-sightedness of hospitality, in the fact that it directly influences so many other factors. How do you feel about that? And in essence, by investing in hospitality, you'll see benefits in other areas of the economy.
See, that's the beauty of it. And I think, let me bring it back to one thing. When it comes to public and private, the first thing I always say about hospitality is, unfortunately, how many countries in the world do you see that actually has an active Ministry of Tourism, that has an active body in the government who is lobbying tourism as a sector and working with private sector on that? And I think that's an important piece, because if you first understand the importance of public-private, which is what Saudi Arabia has understood from day one of the inception of Tourism Plan 2030, is they've understood that we need to bring both together into one umbrella. By doing so, you understand the entire economy of hospitality, you understand how you can impact, with farmers, with growers, looking at manufacturing, looking at, from construction, design. You look at the entire spectrum that hospitality touches. Then you understand the power this industry can bring to an economy as a whole, not just as a travel and tourism sector.
Well, these are all really amazing points. Thank you for making them. And we hope the whole world will listen to this. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.